Hi and welcome back to another Craig's World. My name's Craig. Welcome to What Is My Madness. Now today you might know I'm a Piglet. Piglet's my favourite vehicle. If I had to just jump in a vehicle at home, she's Piglet. I've had her for nearly 14 years. She's amazing, but she's getting very old now. And today it's just some of the stuff I've had to do to her. Vehicles, when the taxi or plates, they don't need MOTs, and Piglet only has an MOT when whether she's had an accident and she has to come back on, but that's when they need them. But generally they do not need MOTs. So it's a plate. That's why you have the square plate on the back of taxis. The MOT exempt certificates, and it goes through a stricter procedure than a normal MOT. She'd fail on not having a dust cap, but as I said, she's getting very old, and the list I knew there was some, but I didn't expect what was there. There was 2 pages front to back of stuff, and I've worked my way through them. I've had the stuff in my stores. You have a transit, they're going to be there. They found a lot of rot, and I'll put some pictures in now. And very easy. Cut them out, re-weld plates in, put them back in. And one of the things that he missed, this big hole and these big holes here. So don't worry about them. We're not doing them today. We will do them tomorrow or the day after, but they will be fixed. But the other stuff has all been welded up, and it's me that's found them. The plate placed, you didn't even see them. Don't know how. But that'll be in another video soon. So what we are doing today is, one of the things with them is brake pads. So this is fixing the brake pads on a mk7 Transit Tornado or Piglet. So I've already undone the wheel nuts. As I've done other videos, you've seen them on Bonnie. I'll show you the procedure and what we need to go through it. So on your vehicles, you have to undo the bolts. I've already took a couple of off, and for these are 19. To do this, these are about 20 quid. You do need a kit, which will come in handy in a moment. And Marketplace, my favourite place, Bursko Car Boot, you can find them there. I see them all the time, and you can pick them up for like a £5 for the full kit, and it has 2 sides, left and right, and I'll explain that as we're doing it. But with these, with the pistons on the calipers, it's on a corkscrew. The front ones are on, you can push them back in. You open the reservoir at the front, which we've done, but these have to be wound back in. You'll never do it without one of these. And I said 20 quid if you really want to spend some, 25, 30 quid if they're new. Very well worth having. So we'll get on with this now. Okay, this is the best angle I can get at it. You're gonna have 2 of these. You've got one there and a lug there. So these lugs you're generally gonna have to hold, but they're generally about 13 or a 14 mil. And what happens is, if you turn that, this will generally spin. So you just need, I think it's a 17 or just a little ratchet. It'll just hold it. Just undo one there. I know it's not the most attractive of angles, but right. I want to get this started because I think it's going to rain where we are, and I'm only going to show you one side, and you can see them both. So this is how you do it on a Ford Transit. So as I mentioned, just one of these. You may have just used that just to hold there. I think it's a 14. Yeah, 14. I will tighten and then undo. So it's like shocks it. So there's one. Sometimes they have them where the 13s and 14s. So just play it by ear, work it on yours. And the other thing I need to do, just give me a second. Top tip, even I make mistakes, make sure your handbrake's off. So they can move, just so you can get this off. So you just do the same with this one under here. I think this one is a 13 or a 14. See, that's a 13 now. So you're going to have to do the same. Let's throw it towards you now. And as you can see, if you do it that way, that's just moved. So we need to put that just in there for now. Okay. That's simple. So go remember the 13s at the bottom, the 14s on the top. So now they're out. They should move a little pry now, because this is off. But one thing you do have to take into consideration on the back ones is this lever here, which runs down there. It's your handbrake. It's not just going to be like a normal caliper that just has this. So when you take it off, be mindful of it, be very careful, because we've got to turn it round to use that tool. So just need a little pry back. Just be very careful you don't push this on the disc like that. I just take it at the front, top and bottom, and you just see it just pops off like that. I have to be very careful with this. They're not that bad, to be fair, but might as well put new on. And as you remember, as I've talked to you before, when we take these off and we clean these, because these are what your brake pads click into. And when you ever hear the squeaky brake when it comes to when they slow down at a corner, or it's generally because of these, they've not got copper grease. Oh, that way. They've not got copper grease on them, so we can just give them a little clean up while we're here. And I can hear burn is fine. So I'm just going to spin you over here. So I've just got my brake cleaner, so it's worthwhile just giving a few things a little soak. That stuff's amazing. It really is amazing. Right. So in this kit, it looks something like this. Okay, so one's for the left, one's for the right. Might be the other way around at the moment. But if you see on the rear caliper, it's got little lugs. It's got you them little grooves there, and in the kit they have different little holes and they fit inside it. So what we need to do is find which one that fits in best. And what this does, this kit will do any vehicle, front and back pads. So what you can still see, there is 2 normal grooves, and that just pops in. There's a little magnet, so it pops in. And then what you need to do is you put this round and over, and what happens is this now goes to the back of the caliper, so when you turn, it's got something to push against. So you put that in the back, and then that in, and then just tighten. It's the opposite direction, remember, it's not the same direction, So if I get the camera and bring it up and try and spin it around for you. So it will end up looking something like this. So the 2 prongs are in there. This is wound, as you can see, you have different threads for different sizes. You just turn that till that goes up. Then all you do now is just turn on this. It should be this one or the other one, and it's very easy. As you can see, that piston turns back and it will just keep pushing all the way in. Can't do it once. So you've just seen that then, where we can push that in. So it is a simple case of you just wind it, just turn the piston back all the way. What this does, it pushes the fluid to the front, to where the reservoir is. And that's it. And then just undo it. And that's it. Then I know we need that and that for the next side, so I'll just leave that out. But as you can clearly see, the piston is now pushed back flat. So the next part now is cleaning all these up. I'm just going to give them another soak in that brake cleaner, and same with that, and then I'm just going to scuff all the brake dust off. I have loads of these mats at home, so I don't mind these getting dirty. Just sacrificial ones, just make it comfortable in my old age while I'm lying on the floor. This bit, you can buy brand new ones of these, and in some kits they are with the kits, but if they're not, it's a very simple procedure, and that does it. That brake cleaner does it perfect. So whichever one they go on, and like I said, with this you can spray straight on the disc. It'll just take anything off. And they are directional. The flat part has to go to the disc. The other side comes on the outer. You can't put it like that because it'll be wrong. So I know that this is on that side at the bottom. So there's one. That one is then that side at the top. And don't forget, these are going to have copper grease in them. You must have copper grease. when you're doing this for the new pads. Yeah, I think it's just starting to spit now. Where we at? They always run out of time. And a little catch up on mouse, which if you with my channel you'll know that I'm building another drift car. Mouse is coming on. Amazingly, I fitted the passenger door the other day. Right. So there. Now I don't want to put the discs in with the copper grease at the minute. I want to clean this. Just 2 seconds. And it's all back together. So that's that one. Now the pads, dead simple. You can see they're in packs, so you get two there, two there. Just use one for it. Doesn't matter which side you use. They're all the same pads, and quite a lot of meat on them actually. You know, on certain sides with the ones we get the sensors. Piglet's not got any on this side. They might have one on the other side which I have to fit, and it's always the front one. So when the caliper is back together, I'll show you, he just literally just pushes in, and it's when it wears that wire down, and that's what he like comes on, and then you just plug it in. If you don't use them, I stick them in I don't bin them. As you know, I don't bin anything, I keep them in my stores. So copper grease. Copper grease is better than WD-40. Now, you've got to remember the back plate that's pushing on this, and eventually will fit in that little nubbin. So, we have to put far too much on the end, on the top, and on the side. One thing you never do with this, way too much, is put it on that surface where the brake pad is, or on to that. Never. So remember the little side where it bows, this is the inside, that's the outside of the disc, so it's going to go that way in, and I can show you better on the front one. The reason why I showed you before where you get them tabs where they're flat, they get pushed in a certain way, and you're going to need them on this copper grease on the back of the pad, but I only do that when I pour it in, otherwise you get it everywhere. So if you remember, smaller side this way, and what you do is where these tangs are, you can see I can move them, you push it just in the first tang, and then you push down, and it'll push that over, and then you can push it, and that's why I don't put grease on the then. You can just put the two on there, and then one on the back where the piston's going to be. So now it's just reverse procedure. 14, if you remember, was the top. And sometimes in the kits you actually get the new bolts, and I would suggest for you to put them in. It would be much easier. Put that one on the bottom. So if you remember, it was 14 underneath, 13 underneath and 14 on top. If you remember, we had to put that just to stop it from going. There you go. So that's it. One thing that you must remember is, don't forget these now. There's a big gap between them. You've got to pump your brake pedal a couple of times. Once this is done, especially when you've done the other side, put your reservoir back together. When you're putting your cap on it, if it needs any, top it up. If not, take them out. You just get a tea towel or kitchen roll, put it in, it'll absorb, and keep doing that, and that's the easiest way of getting some of it out. But once you've done this procedure, like I said, you must, once you start the van up, pump the brake pedals a few times, hook the handbrake a few times, and then when you go down the road, just when there's nobody behind you, just keep jumping on the brakes, and it generally pushes the piston, gets it where it needs to be, makes it much easier. So this is it. I'm not going to do the other side because it's raining. It'll only take me seconds to do the other side. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.